Perfect. Again, thanks for having me. I'm very happy to be here, excited to be here, and I wanted to share a couple of concepts of the double goal coaching method. Let me advance to back to where I was practicing. Let me advance back to where we begin. And so, Bob, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can. Perfect. Nice job.
I don't know what I did.
Well, perfect. So anyway, let's go ahead and start here. The slide shares that Jesse hangs his head every time he misses a shot, and as a result, he doesn't get back on defense. What would you do if you were a coach and one of your players did that? Bob, as a basketball coach, if one of your players misses a shot, what do you do?
Oh, I tell them all the time, don't worry about your misses. You can't make any of the shots you don't take. Perfect. So we focus on getting on to the next play as quickly as possible.
Absolutely, and that's exactly right. And we have common thoughts along that line. Kelly or Ruben, any thoughts on this concept, on what you would do as a coach?
I would make sure to keep him in the game. I don't think I would take him out. I would keep him in the game, and I'd let him know from the sidelines that I supported him and I want him to keep going.
You bet. Absolutely. With that in mind, this leads to another principle within, or expands on this principle within the toolkit, is the mistake ritual. And the mistake ritual is a physical action that a coach can use to signal or communicate with the player on the court or the field, or another player can communicate to another player, or that individual player can communicate, hey coach, I've got it, I understand, and put the mistake behind them. And for example, the book talks about how some coaches use the flush, and where they're flushing it away, or that they wipe their brow, no sweat. Coach, I'm putting it behind me, or maybe brushing off the shoulder. When I coached basketball, what I did is I used to look at point to the eyes and make them help the players understand that stay focused. Put it behind you, stay focused, let's move on. I would clap, I would smile, I would encourage, and like Kelly, I wouldn't take them out of the game. I would let them play through it, and as long as they are taking good shots, open shots, shots that they should be taking, that we've worked on in practice to get them open, that's perfect. And like Bob said, you can't make any shots you don't take. So we want to build the students up. We want them to have self-confidence and be able to be very confident when they take that shot. Absolutely. Why would we use a mistake ritual? Any thoughts on that?
Because you want to move on to the next thing as quickly as possible.
Absolutely. You want to move on. You want to
get the other thing out.
Absolutely. Get it behind you. Give them the reassurance that, you're okay. Stay confident. Keep playing hard. Stay focused on the game. Let's put it behind you and get ready for the next play. Absolutely. There's an entire chapter on the Elm Tree of Mastery concept within the book. When you get home this weekend, take a look at chapter 4, read through it, and see which tools might be applicable to you as a coach. With that in mind, one of the tools, it depicts two different gas tanks. One is empty, one is full. If you were driving to the store this weekend or taking a trip, which would you rather have, an empty tank or a full tank?
Full.
Absolutely full. Yeah, you can't waste time on your vacation to stop at the gas station. You want to just get going. And with that, why would you want to have a full tank?
Because the car can't go anywhere without gas.
It can't go anywhere without gas. Perfect. So with that in mind, an empty tank, you can't expect to go very far, can you? Hopefully you can at least get to the gas station where the coach can fill you up and get you going again. But with a full tank, you can go a long way. Let's explore this second principle, filling the emotional tank. That's what the two gas gauges are representing, is the emotional tank. We as coaches can either build our players up or we can tear them down, or somewhere in between. But we want to make sure they have a full tank. When you are pessimistic and this depletes the energy and the emotion of the player, they give up more easily. They're less coachable. However, when they have a full emotional tank, they're optimistic, they believe in themselves, they're confident, they deal better with dealing with adversity, they can pick themselves up and they keep playing hard, and they're more coachable. No question about it. Smiling, clapping, patting them on the back, coaching them and building them up. So what drains a tank and what fills a tank? Those are a couple of items that we need as coaches to understand so we can keep those tanks full as much as possible. Let's say a student comes to your practice and he or she has not eaten lunch because they can't afford it, or they were running from class to class to class. Boy, it's hard to really focus and have any type of emotion. How do you pick them up? Maybe, it'd be great if you knew that was a common occurrence, have a snack there for them or something like that so you can get some nutrition. But at the same time, as the competition goes on, as the practice goes on, criticism drains the tank. Sarcasm drains the tank. If you have favorites on the team and you ignore a player, how does that make them feel? Not very good. There are nonverbals, crossing your arms. And if you show that you're upset and criticizing, you can communicate a lot nonverbally. Be aware of how you're posturing, what you're saying, what your eyes are telling the young player. Conversely, what fills your tank? You need to be truthful. Absolutely. You need specific praise. Johnny, you did a good job bending your knees at the free throw line. You've worked hard at that, and now you're bending your knees, you're following through. You're doing a great job. Keep it going. John Wooden used to use a sandwich method when he had to correct somebody. He would use a positive, then he would make the correction, and then he would finish it up with another positive, such as patting him on the back and saying, "You're doing a good job, keep working hard," that type of thing. So the sandwich method of correcting and praise. Expressing appreciation. Tell the young person how much you appreciate how hard they're working and what they contribute to the team. So vitally important. Listening. What are they telling you? What are they telling you both on the field, non-verbally, and maybe about their life? Maybe their home life's not very good, and maybe you are the only real parent they have in their life, or maybe a teacher in you. Listen to what they have to say and try to fill their emotional tank. Show the nonverbals, the clapping, the smiling, the encouragement with a pat on the back, filling the emotional tank. These are some of the techniques that successful coaches use, and in my coaching and teaching and athletic administration, I had 3 terms I really wanted to use to build them up: inspire, encourage, and support. And if I can stay focused on that and be very deliberate in how I move forward in that capacity, the players typically respond and their emotional tank is filled. So, questions on that?
Oh, you know what? I will ask a question. So on that last slide over on the tank draining side, it said correct is a tank drainer. So, so should we stay away from correcting the players?
You know, it's interesting because not necessarily correcting, because in the book it also says that you just need to be aware of how you're correcting. You've got to be truthful with them, Ruben. So you can't just continue going and correcting them and without correcting them. You have to do it in a deliberate and positive way that will help them to grow and improve. So, you know, the correction is on the draining of the tank, and that's where the 5-to-1 positive to negative ratio comes in. That with every negative criticism or correction, because I don't like the term correction or criticism, with every correction we need to support, build up. But we've also got to be aware that, and John Gottman talked about this in his research, that we don't want to be just all flowery and positive to the point where they can't trust you anymore. And that comes at about a 13-to-1 or 15-to-1 ratio. So that 5-to-1 ratio is a very important target to hit.
All right. I'm going to cut you off there. Nice
okay, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Big thumbs up.
Yeah. So we're going to give you some feedback. We're going to try to keep it brief and to the point. Ruben and I have a habit of over feedbacking, so I think we're just going to keep it nice and brief, Howard.
Let me grab a pen and take some notes here.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead, Kelly.
It is recorded too, so you can go back and watch it later also. First of all, right off the bat, just presentation style, you can tell that you're a seasoned teacher. Your tone of voice was very strong, and you commanded the attention of the people that were listening to you. Your voice tone was very clear. Your pace was good. You made great eye contact, and just the way that you pause when you're supposed to pause, and the way you ask questions, I thought was very strong, and I liked that. I like the way right off the bat you had us thinking. You had us asking the audience a question within the first 2 minutes. So I thought that was very good too. Why would we want a mistake ritual? What is a mistake ritual? You know, things like that. You made it very conversational, and you referenced the book, which I thought was great. When you referenced the book, though, I just picked it up, and maybe it was just a small detail. You mentioned that chapter 4 had all the tools for the Elm Tree of Mastery, and then you said, and another tool is filling the emotional tank. And I just wanted to clarify that, you know, the emotional tank is a principle. It's one of our core principles, not just one of the tools. So I just
that's good. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. The only suggestions I had, and it's funny because we have a few people in this course that are teachers, and it's great because I get to see you in teacher mode. But the one thing, and I'm a teacher as well, so this took me a while to get used to, but one of the things that separates our workshops from a clinic or a class or a seminar is that they are in fact a workshop. So I think sometimes for someone that's so used to being in the teacher mode in front of a class, this gives you a great opportunity to sort of loosen up a little bit, have some more fun, sort of, just really get some more information from the audience rather than the teacher mode of I have information I want to tell you, like going down the bullet list of filling, draining, what that is. Really pulling it out of the coaches, having them think of a player, asking for examples rather than saying, you know, what does this mean, or this is nonverbals can be tank filling or draining,
Good.
have them show an example. Get up. Show me what nonverbals looks like. Show me what verbal praise looks like. Something. I just say ask, don't tell.
That's
really. We know you're competent. We know your stuff, but I like to let the audience see how much they know first, and then you can always confirm that with them afterwards and reinforce what they already know.
That's really good. Thank you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And as I said, it's hard to get out of teacher mode. I got it. I know how that is, and it's helped me over the years to just go, okay, you know what? This is not a clinic or a class. It is a workshop. So that was my own. And again, when you said the other one that I think is difficult for teachers to get out of after you give out all this information is so do you have any questions about that? And then there's the pause. So if I were to ask, and you got nothing from us, I mean, Ruben was kind of scraping, I think, to help you, because it's so open-ended, it's like, okay, what does he want me to ask?
Absolutely.
However, if you change it, like make your question more directed. Instead of saying, are there any questions on that, you could say, all right, now that you understand what filling and draining the emotional tanks is all about, can I have someone share with me, how would you fill Jesse's emotional tank after you saw him miss that shot and he had his head held down? Explain that to me. How would you do that as a coach? Or get with the group and talk about how you would handle this person like Jesse, knowing what we know from what I just so eloquently explained. So I think just sometimes the open-ended questions at a workshop especially, you'll hear crickets more often than not.
Absolutely. No, that's really good.
Yeah. So Ruben, do you want to add a few things there?
I think I'll only add one thing, because my observations were very much in line with Kelly's. I think just all the positives that Kelly mentioned, and so the one suggestion that I would add is that the first two slides of E-Tank, not the Jesse Haynes' head snark, because that's the elm, but the first two slides of E-Tank, I would move through those very briskly. It's two slides. It's a few clicks because the Y comes up and there's some animations that come up. But I would make that really people get the connection between a gas tank of a car and the emotional tank of a person pretty quickly, and then by doing that, by going through that quickly, that will give you the extra minute or two or three to do what Kelly was talking about. Get the folks engaged, and take a look again, Howard, at the trainer notes on the slide where it has what drains a tank, what fills a tank, because there's a description of a possible interactive drain fill exercise, which probably Kelly modeled in her hangout. Right. But take a look at that and see if that would fit your style, your personality, if you'd be comfortable leading an activity like that.
Thanks, Ruben.
Yeah, thank you, Ruben.
Bob, did you have any feedback you'd like to give to Howard?
No, I thought he was great. I thought he was prepared, and he went right down the list. And for me, it was easy to follow.
Yeah.
As you got into the workshop more, and it went on, I think the questions would come up, and people would be more involved. Mm-hmm. And so I thought he was terrific.
All right.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
We may have lost Kelly there, huh?
Yeah, it looks like we did.
So now, Bob, I think you're going to go, huh?
Yeah, that's cool. Now, I don't have the slides and stuff. I don't have a way to do that right
What
here.
are you going to do? You have something to guide you, or do you have something to guide you, or are you just going to go? It's okay either way.
Just off my head.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
fine.
cool.
That's fine. So Kelly, Bob does not have the slides. He was just going to go.
Okay.
Did you want to offer to have the slides?
I can have them playing here if you want. If you want to see them, I can have them playing behind me. Not that I might lose you halfway through, but if you want me to do that, I'd be happy to have that set up just like I do for the Hangouts. Or if you think you just want to go, you can go for it.
Yeah, if you want to put them up, that's fine.
I want it to be in your comfort zone, Bob. So
yeah, I'm pretty comfortable guy, so.
Comfortable and flexible. That's what we.
Yeah. So. Yeah, again, Howard, I thought that was terrific, man. Nice job. I know we're staying away from nice job, but nice job.
Bob, we both coached basketball for a lot of years. I wouldn't be surprised if our paths crossed at some point. Like you were at Merchant Marine. I was an assistant at Roanoke College. And,
Oh, really?
Yeah, and so
All right.
we wouldn't have played each other at least those years that I was there. But and I was the head coach at Eastern Oregon when you were, I want to say, maybe at Notre Dame,
Okay.
somewhere in that area. And so it's possible at the convention or something that our paths have crossed.
Yeah. Yeah. That's cool.
I read your bio and I was really impressed with the success you've had, and it's just incredible.
Oh, thanks, Howard. Just fun. You know, I haven't worked a day in my life, so I'm trying not to.
There you go.
All right, I'm trying to help you out here.
Okay, that's good, Kelly, right there.
Can you see it? All right.
Yeah, that's great.
Here, that's it.
All right, well, we got a small group here, and we've been talking about the Elm Tree Mastery of Coaching. And right now, I want everyone to get up a little bit. Howard, Kelly, Ruben, if we can get up and walk around a little bit, maybe high-five each other a little bit here, and maybe give a pound and chest bump or whatever. You know, let's get our juices flowing again, because we've been sitting and talking for a little bit. So, you know, because one thing I found in coaching is that the more energy you bring, translates to the players, and the players feel your energy and get off that vibe. So what we're going to talk about now and discuss with each other is filling our emotional tanks. And I want you to take a look at the first slide and take a look at this. Now, I want you to picture yourself getting into your car. And Kelly, when you get in your car and you see that slide where the gas tank is on E, what do you feel?
I'm stressed out.
Okay, Ruben, how about you? What are you feeling when you see that thing on E?
I'm wondering if I'm going to make it to where I need to go.
Yeah, and Howard, how about you?
Yeah, I'm wondering where the nearest gas station is so I can fill the tank up.
Yeah, so see, when the tank's low, we're feeling stress, and we're feeling anxiety and fear, and fear of failure, and fear of getting there, right? So now take a little, when you get in that car, and everyone does it when you get in your car now, what's one of the first things you do when you get in? You take a look at that gas tank, okay, and you see that thing on full, okay? Now, my wife, when she gets in after I'm driving, it's almost always on full. When I get after she's driving, it's always on empty. So now, Ruben, when you get in and you see that thing on full, what are you feeling?
Relaxed.
Yeah.
Relaxed and confident.
Howard, how about you?
Yeah, absolutely. More confident, knowing that I'm going to be able to reach my goal for the day, whether that's driving or playing or wherever I'm going, whatever I'm doing, I can make it because I have a full tank.
Yeah, Kelly, anything?
Yeah, I'm psyched. I'm
Yeah.
just really, it's relaxing. I don't have to think about it.
Right, so think about that now. Think about those feelings that you have just in looking at your gas tank. Now, when we talk about filling the emotional tank of your players and filling your emotional tank, okay, because when you go into practices and games, you're the leader. And you've heard it often said, a team takes on the personality of its coach, okay? So I've often told my teams going into the season, hey, you have to meet my energy level every day.
Mm-hmm.
And we all have bad days, okay? I've had bad days. But when I cross that line, walking into practice, and what I do every year is I put a line up that separates from going to the locker room onto the practice court. And we use that as our line of definition for our players and our coaches. When we cross that line, our problems stay in the locker room, and our energy comes onto the court. And for me, I always told my players, my staff, I will be the leader every day in energy. You have to try and come and meet me. Now, I understand that no one's 100% every day. But what I want to get out of my players and my coaching staff and everyone in our program is I want 100% of what you have that day. So if you only have 80%, I want all 80. If you only have 60%, I want all 60. And I know that people aren't going to be able to get 100% every day. But I want 100% of what you got. Okay? So let me tell you, Howard, you've been in coaching for a number of years. You see a guy coming onto the practice court, he's dragging a little bit. His eyes are down. Okay, what are you reading from that?
Boy, you know, having been at the college level, my first instinct is, boy, I wonder what happened in class today. Is he getting enough sleep? You know, what's going on in his life? There's something that's draining him, and how do I pick him up and get him focused and get him in tune so he's ready for practice?
Okay, so Kelly, how can Howard do that? How is he going to help that player get focused? One thing that he can do to help that player get focused.
I think sometimes just going over to the player and just putting your arm around him or putting your arm on his just saying, hey, how you doing today? What's going on? Just taking a genuine